Pokemon is a big deal. I mean, it's all over the place. There's TV shows, video games, card games about this Pokemon thing. Personally, I'm not a big fan. And if you're in the same boat as me and you don't know what Pokemon is, it started in February of 1996 as a Japanese video game about... I don't even know what it's about, to be honest. What I do know is that since its beginning, Pokemon has exploded around the world to the point that even some of you guys have asked me to make a video where I create my own Pokemon evolution. Now, what in the heck is a Pokemon evolution, you might ask? Well, that's a good question, because I asked the same thing. I really don't know anything about this stuff. So I went to the Googles to do some research, and what I found is that in Pokemon there are different kinds of characters. There's human characters, and then there's these little monster characters, which, by the way, fun fact, Pokemon stands for pocket monster, presumably because they start as these small little, like, pocket-sized monsters, and eventually they evolve into these beast-like bigger versions of themselves, I guess. So once I'd figured all of this out, I started looking at some reference images of these characters to see things like what the Pokemon art style looks like, how many stages there should be in an evolution, and what the changes in the stages should look like. And after a while of doing this, I think I got it. So, that was very helpful. That's better. So looking at those pictures, I learned a lot about what a Pokemon style looks like and kind of how I can replicate it. And I noticed that there's generally 3 to 5 stages of one of these characters' evolutions. But before I do that, I have to do some brainstorming to find out exactly what I want this character to look like. So I started off by doing something that I like to call brainstorm sketching. But before we talk about that, let's just appreciate this.
Nice.
So anyways, brainstorm sketching is pretty self-explanatory. Basically, you just get out a big old piece of paper like what I have here and start sketching whatever random character comes to your mind. In this case, I was trying to keep it to the Pokemon style. You just sketch a whole bunch of random characters until you land on something that you like. And in this case, that did end up happening, but there was a little bit of a conflict. So I'm struggling to choose between 2 of these little guys. So the 2 I'm picking between are this T-Rex looking thing here and this snake looking thing over in the corner. This one doesn't look too exciting, but I have a cool plan for this one. So I'm thinking my best bet is to flip the page and draw side by side both their evolutions, and hopefully after doing that I'll see which one I like more. So let's do that. So I went ahead and drew the first stage of the snake evolution, but then when I drew the second, I thought it was too big of a jump, so I made that one the third, and I went and made an actual second one. So I'm drawing a question mark for his 4th and final stage, not because I don't know what it should look like. I kind of have an idea in mind as to what it should look like, but I do want to keep it a secret in case I end up drawing him. Speaking of which, I came into this thinking I would draw the guy that I'm drawing right now, but actually I ended up feeling more convinced about the snake. So I messed it up again. This one is number 1, this one is number 2, and this one is number 3. Now all I have to do is pick what I like more. And you guessed it. Well, no, you didn't guess it. I basically already told you, but I'm doing the snake. So yeah, I'm gonna go do that now. I'm gonna draw some snakes. I don't know why I did that. Okay, so I have a game plan. So to draw these pictures, obviously I have to draw 4 separate pictures, and I have this paper in these notebooks. This paper is pretty expensive, and I don't just want to use 4 of these pieces of paper for the same thing. So what I've decided is I'm using this paper for the first 2 stages of the evolution. After that, for the 3rd one, I have this paper, which is quite a bit bigger, as you can tell. And then for the final one, I'm using, this is the biggest paper I have. So yeah, that's the game plan. So a huge part of the Pokemon art style is the colors that these characters have, but in most of the pictures that I draw in these videos, I just leave them black and white, so when it came time for the coloring, yeah, I hadn't planned for that. But I did know that there was going to be yellow on our snake friend here. You'll see that come up later. So I went to the Googles, again, to find colors that contrast yellow, and I saw that one of those colors was blue. And I just thought that would look cool, because, yeah. So on I went, making the two main colors of this character, yellow and blue. And I actually think it did end up looking pretty cool. This man's hot, like literally, like he's burning. So honestly, this turned out cooler than I thought it would, and I learned a lot of good stuff while making this. So let's take that information into stage 2, baby. Let's go. Let's go to the next one. So I don't really have anything to say while I'm drawing this one, so just to save all of our time, I'm going to make it incredibly fast. And that about wraps it up. So we are done with the second stage of the evolution. Oh crap. So we are done with the second stage of the evolution, or you could say, we're halfway there. Whoa! For stage 3 of the evolution, we're going big. Bigger, not the biggest. You just wait for the biggest. My sincere apologies for getting my big ugly head all up in this frame. I know that's a rookie mistake. I could try it. Maybe this will make it a little better? No? Okay, I'm sorry. Now I know what you're thinking, JD, why in the flip is the left side of his face so darn bright? Well, that's because of the light that's going to be hitting his face from the giant fire on the tip of his tail, and then the next logical question would be, why is there a giant fire on the tip of his tail? Well, to that I say, shut up. So the whole rest of his body that I'm about to draw here is very boring to watch because it's repetitive and it's a bunch of stuff you've already seen. So I'm going to skip it in one Thanos snap. I don't know why the video quality looks so bad here. But now we're getting on to the fire tail. Now taking our focus off the fire for a second, as you can see our boy is growing some wings, but they're not quite big enough for him to take flight yet, but just wait for the next and final stage because it will look epic. Ta-da! Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes stage 3 of the evolution, but now it is time to buckle your seatbelts, if you have any nearby, and get ready for the biggest one. I actually don't know how to rip. Why does this need to be here? Okay, I have some explaining to do. You're probably thinking, JD, this is supposed to be the biggest one. It's not that big. Okay, well, just shut up, it's pretty big. But I can see it's not like really big, so if you do want to see me draw on a truly big piece of paper, well, you're in luck, because that's what I did in literally my last video. I have a link to that video somewhere on screen and in the description, but the easiest thing for you to do is just wait till the end of this video, and I'll have a big old link on screen to that video at the end of this video. And when I say it's big, I mean it's big. But for now, let's all just sit back and enjoy the final stage of our Snake Friends evolution. So once again, I'm going to Thanos snap to skip the boring parts, and now we're almost done. So these markers here are called Posca markers, and I wanted to use the white one to make a cool fire effect, but it ended up looking not so great. I would like to get better using these markers. Before you leave, as I said earlier in the video, I wasn't able to really draw on like a massive piece of paper in this video, but if you want to see me do that, make sure to click this video. I think it's going to be on this side of the, I think it's going to be here somewhere. But I also have a link to that video in the description, and in that video I do draw on a massive picture, and we also need to get that video to 100 views. If you want to know why, just click the video.